And then you go for your Verad. You can go for a little bit of defense. You can go for violent, but you can also just say, fuck it, we're gonna do damage. And one shot. That is a nice amount of damage. Yo, what's up guys? We got a Verad over here, and that's a unit that you probably do have, maybe you don't, but I think most people that have been playing for a long time probably do have him. Probably you just use him towards like TOA for like a CC kind of unit, or maybe in Siege here and there as a CC kind of unit. But let me actually tell you that he can do quite a bit of damage. Why is that? Well, all of his skills are proportional to his defense, and it's one of the few units that has all three skills proportional to its defense plus AoE skills. And keep in mind, attack buff is 50%, defense buff is 70%. So that adds in quite a lot of damage. Damage multipliers on the skill 3 is 5% from defense, this is a 3.6, and this is a 2.9, and then a little bit from attack as well. So we do mostly look at defense scaling damage, which can add up quite a bit. There is one team that was made popular by Faint Solidor for arena offense, and I don't exactly have that team because there is one key unit that I have might fed away a few too many times, which is this thing. I fed it so often, but this thing is actually insanely good next to a Verad. Why is that? Well, this skill has both defense buff and defense break. So that is an insane strong skill for a Verad, because that is pretty much the galleon to a Verad, which makes pretty much a lot of sense. But then there's also a good skill 1 and a good skill 2. So this unit is really nice next to a Verad if you want to use it. I don't have it, however, so I'm going to use something slightly different. So yeah, once again, we're going to be stomping that Nikon. So this would be the team minus the Alaya. For Alaya, I just needed some AoE defense buff. You would place in a retouch and it can bruise down a lot of things. But there's one interesting thing that I haven't seen those people that use this team already do, which is this. Crit rate for all water units. And then you go for your Verad. You can go for a little bit of defense. You can go for violent, but you can also just say, fuck it, we're gonna do damage. And that is exactly what this Verad is both all about. Fully on damage. Just quickly showing the runes. That was that one. Quickly showing the runes on these. Also just a little bit of damage. Don't think NFL does really do too much damage. This one is just a typical build. And this thing is, well, I might as well add a few determination runes in there while we're at it. I have absolutely no clue how much damage this Verad is going to do. Sure, I do know that he is low on the, what's it called? The accuracy, but in this case, we don't care about accuracy. We care about accuracy for landing this, which is actually a very high effective defense break. Probably one of the better ones in the game because it's a 3 times very high rate to land it. Let's see how much damage we do. We do a whopping 45k. That is pretty high damage. Sure, that's not instantly killing, but for a unit that is insanely tanky, it does do a lot of damage. Like when I put my best runes towards the Bale from last video, that thing was doing like 52k on that Nikon. So for that reason, I would say that this is pretty decent damage for a unit that is super tanky, because if I check the Bale is gonna die in like 1 or 2 hits. This thing is definitely not gonna die in 1 or 2 hits. So let's see if we can find a few offense or... So let's see if we can find a few hits where we can actually use this. I think with this one, straight up, you can just give that a try. Let's actually see. We do have the issue... Okay, for that reason, maybe the... yeah, okay. Maybe the Anvil full crit rate with crit rate build is not that great into Camillas, though. Now to think of it, that part is maybe a little bit worse. Very much worse. You can't really hit Camillas if you go for this way. But let's just see. I do know killing that Camilla. I also have nothing on this Troy, so killing that Camilla will be near impossible, because we're always going to crit that. But just for the sake of it, how much damage can we deal against all of the other units? 60k on the Perna? That's an insane amount of damage. Holy shit. That thing is max rest, so we're not going to be caring too much about that. Against the Björnjo, we didn't do as much damage. I don't think he has any chance of killing me, so maybe we can win the late fight on this. So yeah, this is definitely a team. I would recommend it with the retouch. I would recommend it to maybe add in Destroy on like the retouch or the... Leo or something, just to destroy HPs if there are teams that are looking a little bit similar like this, where you can't really kill something straight off the get-go and then you have a little bit of a Bruiser fight. But that hit on that Perna and Vanessa was really insane. Also, that hit there is just really insane. Okay, note to self. Do not use against Björnjuls with a Camilla next to it. Björnjuls maybe, Camilla's not so much. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that is not what we want to use it against. Too bad that those are the pretty much most meta things out there right now, but can't have everything in life. Can't have everything in life. Let's see about this one. Maybe it does work a little bit better. We could see a few things going wrong, but yep, high resistance, that's fine. Even if that stuns, that is a lot of debuffs though. That part is a little bit worse. Let's see if we can cleanse away 2 right things. No, we need to cleanse away 2 right things. If you proc right now, would have been nice. Okay, we just go for skill 2 in this case. Decent amount of damage. Decent. But we're gonna need that armor break setup first. We do still have this going. Now we go for the death break. Would we one-shot this whole team? Yeah, death break activation is pretty nice on that NFL. And one-shot 40k, 48, 41, 56. That is a nice amount of damage for a unit that is near unkillable. Like this whole team, if you bought the Leo, right? This whole team is near unkillable for anything that you would see on the enemy side. So also just the 16k on the skill once. That's pretty interesting. Too bad, yeah, you do have the issue where we do have a Björnjul meta, and Björnjul is very hard to kill for this kind of thing. So yeah, that part does kind of suck a little bit for this guy, but I would say in general it's not too bad. Okay, this one might be very tricky because of you and you, but I do kind of want to give it a try. I would not recommend to use this though. Like this is one of those that I would not recommend to hit. Also, this thing does have immunity by itself, so for that reason you're also less likely going to be hitting it. That thing can get immunity from you, and apparently my 100 res unit got stunned just now, which is also not that great. So few things out there which are not that great. So we have to start off with this first and then just go for an S2 early on. Still decent amount of damage though, actually. Do not stun it. Thank you very much. Can go for this. That one is fine. That one is still fine. And we go for armor breaks. Did not land it on the Björnjul. That's too bad. And wow. Wow, that dragon hits, man. That dragon does hit. It is a little bit hard and tricky to get the setup at some point. Maybe that there's a better setup, or you just go for like a Tiana kind of setup, but then you would do a lot less damage, I assume. But you could go for some Tiana kind of setup and then just outspeed, and then I would say in that case you would have to go for a Ritash, because otherwise getting the defense buff would be a little bit more tricky. You could also go for a boost with a immensity. That is an option. That's actually a fun option to actually maybe look into, because the amount of crit rate, okay, it's a little bit too low for that to work right now. But if we would use an NFL 15 crit rate, it could still crit on Camillas. And then a Tiana. Okay, we're actually gonna give that a try. Would we? Yeah, let's give that a try. So let's see this team. If we were to add in a Tiana boost, also does have defense, and then we go for an immensity, which is this very old school unit that no one really uses anymore, but it does have defense buff and a crit rate buff. Only issue is it would have to make you quite a bit faster as well. It violent procs more this way. And of course we can add some determination plus whatever on this thing. Let's see if this works. I don't think so, but it would be fun if it does. So this would be an option where you can boost this, land this one, doesn't land on these two. I was talking about you having good activation rates. NFL, what are you doing to me? Okay, well, in this case, we just hit the other two. That's low-key actually pretty good. That is, wait, I did miss the crit on that one. I do have like, I think I'm like 93 crit rate on this. I did miss the crit on that one, so it was actually frozen. Like, how did that work out? But, wow, that actually did work quite a bit better than expected. If I did land all armor breaks, it would have been nice. Okay, I did not put max resistance on this one right now. Would, of course, be better with max resistance, but... See, that's all you had to do in the first rotation. That's all you had to do. Now we can go for a second boost again. Do you have skills back? Nope, you don't. What a noob unit. 35k on the Björnjul. I like that part. I don't like that part where I get frozen though, but I do think you are gonna crit on this. I would make this 15 crit rate if you would actually use this, but can we crit? Or not crit, armor break, but nope. I was also saying that you should proc more violent. Not you, me. God damn it, Camillus. God damn it. Of course, you had the credit. Well, in this case, you could also just use any armor breaker. So you could go for a Jasmine, you could go for a Truffle, you could go for an Asuma, you could go for a lot of stuff. Annabelle is a lot safer, though. Because of Annabelle, you do have chances of healing later on and that kind of stuff. So, issue is getting your skills back does take a little bit of time on an Annabelle as well. But you do have the healing in there, which is something to save for as well. Stop increasing cooltime. Thank you. Did you just have to freeze that one? You just had to. Well, we cleansed it off. Don't crit. Motherfuckers. Oh, still dead. But this team is actually kind of a something. Like, if you're lacking all kinds of other teams that I have been showcasing, killing one of the main teams out there with this is actually kind of interesting. Let's see if we can find another team. These are probably too fast, too fast. You do look at just a Tiana outspeed, so you don't have that much to work with to outspeed, so... Or you just use the Tiana 100 res and then you expect an outspeed, but then afterwards you do your thing. Because your thing is better than their thing. Okay, we crit on the Camilla again. Annabelle, what happened to you being good on landing your shit? It's 70% times 3. I would expect that to be good. Okay, if we have 270 crit rates and you don't crit, you're not gonna deal as much damage. That is a true statement. And if everything on the enemy side goes 6 times, it's very nice to have an NFL to take care of that. But in this case, we're actually going to lose because it's not that great. Oh, I think you need an extra turn. I think what you're missing is an extra turn. I think so. I'm not entirely sure if that's what you guys think as well, but I think he was missing an extra turn. So yeah, if you go high crit damage, then it's a additional turn. Oh man, this game, sometimes this game. Okay, into Kaki's, not that great. Would I really recommend to use this a lot? Probably not really. Would I recommend to use this if you kind of want to semi-auto things? Yeah, you could, because I do think that if you would build this maybe a little bit less on damage and stuff, but I do think you could semi-auto a lot of stuff with this. That is true. Could we, instead of you, use a Hey Gang in this position? Well, if all of those units did have will, then the answer was yes. Now the answer is kind of no. Do we expect the Moor to be fast? Well, even the Lucifer could be fast. But let's see if anything is fast. Probably something is fast. Nothing is fast. The Moor is going to move after, though. Please don't go heavy metal, whatever you do normally. Okay. I can see this work. I can see this work. That was nice. Let's just cut out the other one where it goes completely wrong and then just use this one and then say, it is super OP. Let's try against this one. Because technically, I should not be able to glance if I have higher defense than them, right? We don't care about that skill. Okay, we're gonna land it because we're high activation rates. You disappoint me, NFL. You disappoint me. You do not disappoint me. Holy shit, that damage, though. If that armor break was there, he would have been dead. Nice having crit rate buff on the potential. That part ain't helping y'all. Armor break it? Never lucky. Okay, pretend that you can armor break. She was good at pretending. You armor break. Yay, okay. Armor breaking for this thing, maybe not their best job. Probably 39k on the skill one. Holy shit. Well, I was low HP, so that does make sense. But yeah, maybe you should use a truffle rather than this thing. It's maybe not the best for armor breaks. For Bruiser fight, probably not that bad. For this kind of fight, kind of bad. Well, good thing is that you can hit easier into Samas as well, because Samas normally deal a lot of damage on you. But now in this case, you have defense buff. It's not gonna deal as much damage, right? Right, I'm so gonna die probably. But let's see. Okay, we of course missed again on that thingy. Or, well, we didn't miss, we just crit it. Yuck. We can one-shot the Juno though, that part is nice. We have defense buff, so with the defense buff, how much damage? Rookie numbers. What's the math? What's the math? No Samath. That Samath did absolutely nothing. Tickled me. Defense buff, way too OP. So yeah, if you struggle against Samaths, might be a thing. This team actually does kind of clear some of the harder teams out there right now, I think. Of course, you can't really spam it into everything, and of course she's going to crit on everything that you don't want, but I can see this working here and there. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's definitely something that if you're lacking a lot of the other damage dealers and you're like, I have no clue what to use, could be that you just pick up your old Verad and then go from there and then hope she doesn't crit, and then you go for a skill 1 over here. You don't have your skills up, but just nearly kill it by skill 1. It is not that bad. It is not that bad. Of course, what you could do is this plus a retake. That would absolutely kill most things, but it might be a little bit hard from just landing the armor breaks from a Debra plus a retake, but would be a decent option as well. Only thing is then you don't really have a great lead. So verdict on the Verad, I do think he has quite some potential. Would I use him in my rush? Probably not. It's more of a fun thing and maybe something you could toy around with if you have the good runes for it, if you have a good setup for it. Is this necessarily one of the best offenses out there? Probably not. Is it kind of fun? Yeah, I do think that Verad can be pretty fun as a unit to use in something like this. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab, which has the dungeon guide archive and the video guide archive, which contains all of the guides that you need. Hope to see you there.